Good morning, good morning, good morning. Okay, guys, good morning. Thank you so much for being here. We always like to start right on time, so thank you for the ones that are very punctual. I hope you're having a good first week after daylight savings time. I'm still struggling a little bit over here, but we're so thankful that you are with us this morning. We're going to do our best to keep this at 25 minutes and then answer any questions after. We also would love to set up a meeting with you personally. I am Diane Michael. I am the owner of Callan Group Communications. I began my business development, marketing, and outreach career in 1999, so it's been a minute.
And I'm Lindsay Lombardi with Coastal Living Real Estate and Association Management. I've been in the real estate world my whole life, but officially became a real estate agent in 2013 and then went into the association management side of things. And I have been doing that since 2016.
So we decided to do this program where we connect vendors to CAMs and board members because Lindsay and I have known each other for 11 years. We actually met at a building association managers of Volusia, so a group that vendors and CAMs belong to. And actually, someone who was in that group introduced us. And I have just so enjoyed working with Lindsay because she comes from very different vantage points. She has worked for a corporate management company. She's worked for a family-owned management company. She's worked on property, and then she also owns her own management company. But after work talking with me and becoming friends with me, we both decided we wanted to work together. So it's a beautiful marriage of the management side of things and the marketing side of things. So we kicked off this program about 5 months ago. We beta tested it on one of my clients for Callan Group, and then we rolled out the program again about 5 months ago, and we've seen great success with it. But we just kind of want to go through today with you on like the why do you have to be in front of CAMs and board members? You guys know, but I just kind of want to touch on some of the things that we see in the market. You know that business is more challenging to get in front of these CAMs. It's more challenging to get in front of the decision makers. CAMs are busy, they're putting out fires, they have everything set up for a day, and then they get to the office and an elevator went down in one of the condos on the beach. So it's more challenging to build those relationships with the CAMs, and even harder to get into the board members' inboxes and building relationships with them. Technology is changing, so it's harder to really find ways to communicate with those board members and CAMs. Your demographics are changing. You're getting older board members that are phasing out. You're getting new board members coming in, and those new board members are also looking to build relationships with vendors. We all know that good help is hard to find. That's why Lindsay and I work together, because we both know that we bring the right skills together. But what I see so often in these vendors that are our current clients is they have family members helping them with their marketing, and they and or they're doing it at night. And marketing and outreach is always what we see, like the last thing that people do instead of the first thing, because it's the first thing that you're going to do to gain new business, retain your current business, and continue to grow your profile. It's also more expensive than ever. We have a management group as a client, and we've been doing a conference for them over 8 years. And the expenses of the conference go up, so the cost to participate go up. You look at just the cost of having Zoom every month. Everything has gone up. Postage has gone up. So finding the most efficient and the most cost-effective means of communicating is challenging. And then also the competition in the market. I mean, we know that it's a competitive market. So what makes you different? How are you the problem solver? You know, why are board members and CAMs wanting to work with you? And how are you telling your story to them? Those are all the solutions that we have for you. Lindsay, will you pop on the next slide for me? So strategy is the solution. Work smarter, not harder. Get your name in front of CAMs and homeowners. That is through our program. Lindsay, will you just kind of talk about like a day in the life of a CAM from the perspective of getting educated and webinars and all that fun stuff?
Absolutely. So, CAMs are very busy. You never know what your day is going to hold. Generally, most CAMs that I've worked with and myself, we start off our day checking our voicemails and our emails to see if there's anything that we need to attend to urgently first thing in the morning. And then we kind of get our day started. Goes from being in meetings, meeting with vendors, having board meetings, just going and doing property visits, seeing employees and those types of things. And so for us, we want to get educated and we want to meet with all these vendors and we want to know who's out in the field, but it's very difficult to go and meet with people one-on-one and attend multiple webinars throughout the week. And, to the best of your ability, you'll schedule to be at one and then something will come up and you'll have to leave and go take care of an issue at a property. So you'll miss it, even though you had registered for it and had all intention of attending. So the benefit, for what we do is that you're able to get your message out to multiple people for you in such a short period of time. You're not driving to and from properties to meet, this CAM at this property and that CAM at another property. So, for us as CAMs, we have very busy days, and to get as much information in as short a period of time as possible is beneficial for us as well as for you as the vendor.
And then Lindsay, from your inbox, from the inbox perspective, what are you seeing? Who or not who, but how are you seeing vendors market to CAMs?
Okay, so let's use just webinars for example. If like for example, we have multiple clients that we do webinars for. So we send out newsletters for those clients to, announce the date of the webinar, a reminder for it, tomorrow's the day, and then a follow-up with the video. So that's great. But as a CAM, when you have emails coming to you Tuesday morning, Tuesday afternoon, Wednesday afternoon, Thursday morning about all these webinars, it becomes a little monotonous. You have so many things coming through that you miss something that you maybe would have been interested in, or you just stop paying attention to it because you're just getting flooded. And CAMs aren't looking to have their inbox flooded with those emails when we're trying to communicate with our board members and employees and deal with association matters. So sometimes, because of all those emails, even though it's great to do all the marketing, sometimes it does get overlooked because there's just so many that it's that at some point you just are like, okay, I can't deal with that today, I'll go back, and then you don't have time to go back.
Right. I also see there that not many vendors are doing the consistent communications. We see this, and I'm on a lot of lists because of the different clients that I have, and I get forwarded a lot of stuff. But most law firms, when there's statute changes, when there's legal updates going on, they're really good at getting information out there, and so they put on webinars, but they're just like hodgepodge. It's you'll see one in March, you'll see one in October, but there's no consistency. And for me, I feel like it's like a political campaign. You hear from the politicians during the campaigns, and then you like don't hear from them again, and it's like, well, why did you vote on that bill? So we have this program where we are working smarter, not harder. We have a consistent way of communicating your story to the CAMs, to the board members, and we do it consistently so that you're building a relationship with the CAM and the board member before they need you. So, Lindsay can attest that when, she might not think that she needs a fiber optics person, but the minute that she needs them, she wants to know in her head, who do I go to? And if she has been educated and seen that name of that business, then she'll reach out to them probably first for one of the three RFPs. Am I right, Lindsay?
Yeah, and that's why it's so important to get your name out there and inform CAMs and board members about what you do before they need you. Because a lot of times when they need you, now they don't have time to do all that extensive research or learn about you. They're going to go to whoever's name they've heard the most, whoever somebody else tells them about if they don't know somebody already. So if you get your name out there and you start doing these educational videos for board members and CAMs now, when the time comes that they need someone, they're going to remember you. And that again is the importance of continuing to do regular follow-up and regular webinars and marketing and things like that, so that okay, they got to know you and then you disappear for a year until it's the next legal update or the next hurricane season. You got to keep your name relevant so that it pops in their head. And when somebody else asks them, your name is what will come out of their mouth.
So we have been we rolled this out 5 months ago. So we've been doing 4 months of webinars for many vendors, and we have found that it works. We have found that it works really well, which we're just so thankful for, because everything that we do, we want it to be a win-win-win. The end user is going to ultimately be the residents of the association. You've got the board members and the CAMs that you're building relationships with. You're going to win by the growth of the business. We're going to win by you making more money and wanting to stay with us because we handle it all for you. So we've seen that it works. We want to always do a win-win, but some of the things that we found in the past 4 months, we want to share with you, because we're always adjusting to the needs of the market. And as you all know, it's constantly changing. So we have to be smarter, and we don't need to work harder. We just need to be smarter and really take the feedback of the CAMs and take the feedback of the board members that we're receiving. So what we've seen is because we've had all these different vendors and some are in the same markets, we've had to say, okay, on Tuesday, we're going to have you go at 9:30, and we're going to have you go at Thursday at 4 p.m. And then the next week or the next month for that same vendor, we're going to try a noon. And then so we've played around with the time of day based on the CAM schedule and based on Lindsay's recommendations. We haven't really found any rhyme or reason on times. Every CAM's life is different and every day is different. So we've never really found like that magic time that works best. We've had some webinars that have had one CAM, and we've had some that have 70. So we started to think about this, and we said, how do we now currently, 2025, how are we consuming information? I know I don't, jump on TV at 9 o'clock on Wednesday to watch the show when it comes out right then and there. But, maybe once a year I do. I watch on demand, right? I watch when it's convenient for me and my schedule. And so that's one of the reasons that we always videotape all of the programs, not only to your programs, the education webinars. Not only are we building your library on YouTube, but then we take the webinar, and if there's one attendee or 70 attendees, we take the video, put it on YouTube, then we put it in a follow-up newsletter, and we send that out to the database. And Lindsay, do you want to talk about a success story that is around exactly just that?
Absolutely. So we have a couple of vendors who have had access from videos, but one in particular, it was a board member who had intended to attend the webinar and was not able to. And so they were able to go on the YouTube channel, and after, a couple days later, after, they were able to go back and watch the video, and that in turn turned into an RFP the vendor got, and then essentially got the contract. And we've had a couple of situations like that. One where, the person wasn't even on the list to be at the webinar and was sent a video from someone who heard they were looking for something in that field, and that person reached out to the vendor. So really building that library, it shows a couple of things. It shows to the clients that this is important to you. You're trying to get education out, whether they come to you or not. You're giving a little bit of information that will maybe help them be better educated when they're talking to their current vendor. And again, when they need to look for a new one or they're trying to get bids for the next year, they're going to think about you. And it's a way for you to communicate on an on demand basis with board members, CAMs, and really homeowners, anyone who's looking for someone in your field. They can go and get lots of information from you without actually having to speak to you. And it gets your face out there and your name out there.
So, in our regrouping of the services and wanting to continue to elevate the services and bring in more business, we also got feedback from a couple cams, and one of the cams said, I really just delete the emails because I am getting all the emails about the webinars because I just get so many emails a week. You're doing a great job. I can see that, you're working with all these people, but, a lot of people are going after the same cams. And in cams, Lindsay always says that, the vendors are the toolbox. They're only as good as their vendors because, the vendors make them look good to their boards. So Lindsay and I said, we've got to do more. We've got to provide more in this service. We've got to get it out there to the board members. And so we are really, really excited to announce that we have taken the feedback that we've received. We've elevated services. We've invested hefty in paying for a board member email database. The mailing addresses for board members is easy to find, but the email database is not. We've also got all of the CAMs in the state of Florida and their email addresses. So email newsletters work. I started Callan Group Communications in 2008 based on just newsletters. And so I know firsthand how well they work, but especially for this program, because we started thinking, okay, the cams have their favorite vendors, right? They have their favorite vendors until a new board comes in, but then that new board says, well, I know somebody that's in landscaping and I really like them, and let's bring them in for an RFP. So we decided we needed to really invest in getting the contact information of the board members. And so now we have a board member email list. So we're super excited about that. Some of the ways that we feel that this will help benefit is, like Lindsay said, not only the board members, but then they're sharing the information for residents if you have a service that residents would also need. Lindsay, do you want to talk a little bit just about how you think that this will make a better impact too by putting everybody under one umbrella?
Yeah. So again, like I said, as a CAM, we start ignoring emails sometimes when they're coming through because we're getting so many of them. If it's not relevant to what we're doing at that moment, we maybe aren't paying attention. So this new way of doing it that we think is going to be better is going to be to put everyone under the one umbrella and promote everyone together. So this way we're getting less newsletters, but they're still getting all of your information. They're going to know when you're going to be doing a webinar, and what it's about, and then again sharing the videos after. So in doing that, people are going to pay attention to the emails because they're going to get less of them. So they're going to see, okay, wait, let's see, what's going on here, and they know when this newsletter comes out, I'm going to be able to see all the webinars that are going to happen this month and which ones I want to tune into, what times, and we really think that this is going to be the better way. Also, maybe they're clicking on it because it's a roofing company and they have something going on with roofing, but they're not clicking on it because it's a pool company or it's in a law firm. But now they're clicking on it and they're going to see everybody. So they may, not think that they want to hear about a topic, but then they'll see it on this newsletter and be like, okay, yeah, let me tune into that. So it really is kind of all the vendors in a sense coming together and helping one another because you know, you just you can't take all the business, right? Nobody has the time for all the business, and you're maybe not what they're looking for a certain thing, but somebody else is. So this is just really a great way for the board member community and the CAM community to be able to get all the information at one time.
Yes, I love that. Thank you. So just to reiterate what she said, you get more eyes, you build more relationships, you get a more engaged audience, There's a higher ROI on time and extended visibility. I totally agree with the more the better. Getting, like she said, a board member doesn't necessarily know what they need to know, and so if they attend a webinar Wednesday and maybe they're only tuning in for this legal update, but then they see on the newsletter that there's 5 other educational opportunities that are 30 minutes long. They're going to save that newsletter and go back or share it with others. Or maybe they heard that one of their fellow board members at an HOA really needed someone to look at their landscaping. They forward it. Board members want to be educated, the good ones. They want to be educated, and then they want to look like the problem solvers. So they like to be the ones that forward things because then it's their idea. So only have a few more minutes because I want to keep it at 25. This is totally a turnkey service for you. We know how busy you are. We literally have had clients that have just shown up the morning of a webinar and they're like, I didn't look at anything. We're like, it's your business. You know what it is. Here are the topics. Here's the bullet points. Like, let's just go. And he went and it was great. We handle it all, like from A to Z. We come up with the topics for you. We come up with the bullet points. We come up with your social media posts. We come up with your PowerPoint presentation. Of course, you have edit approval on everything. Nothing goes out until you say, yes, you're, good to go. We manage the database of the CAMs and the board members in the counties in which you serve. And we handle it all. We become the host of your webinar. So we introduce you the morning of. We handle the back end of the waiting room and the comments and all of that. And then we take that video, we upload it to YouTube, we add another newsletter, and we send it out to everyone. So we're handling it from A to Z so that you don't have to. It really is a completely turnkey. So this says that we are now booking for April 16th. So I guess we didn't get the one that I saved, which is going to be April 23rd will be our first webinar Wednesday. We are going to take 10 new clients. The cost of the monthly service is $950, and we'd love to have you work with us. We'd love to set up a time with you one-on-one to just go over more of the specifics, but we pretty much went over everything. It's a very robust program. It's consistent. It raises your profile. It shows that you're an industry leader. It really gets to the masses. And if somebody doesn't need you in April, they may need you in September. And they've seen your name, and that top of mind awareness is absolutely a key factor in all marketing. They see you on social media. They see that you have a YouTube channel. You have a library. You're building your business through education, communicating directly with CAMs and board members. It's a great program. We'd love to partner with you and make it a win-win-win. Did I make it in time? What time is it? 9:53. Lindsay, anything else to add?
I just want to say, we kind of touched on all the parts of what this new webinar Wednesday that we're doing throughout the whole presentation today. But the key things to remember are that this is now going to be the same Wednesday of the month, every Wednesday, and it's going to be something that the board members are going to remember, that that's the day that they can tune in. So for them, scheduling wise, it's not like they're not going to forget that they have something going on, because after the first couple months of attending, they're just going to remember, hey, is this the Wednesday that the webinars are on? And so I think it's really a great thing for CAMs too, because if they want to attend it, they know, okay, well, let me schedule my out of office stuff on, Tuesday and Thursday this week, so that Wednesday, even if I'm working, I can have that on the computer and at least be able to hear while I'm working here at my desk. So I think it's going to be a great way for everyone to be able to tune in and try to be at the same place at the same time, because it's going to be a consistent time and date, every month.
If anybody has questions, we'd love to answer. It's a lot of information, but I think that everybody gets it, right? I mean, it's pretty simple when you look at it. You got to keep your name in front of board members and CAMs on a consistent basis. And so how do you do that in a professional way without selling to them? You want to provide education, and you want to be doing outreach as much as possible so that you're the industry expert that they think of first when they need your services. And then, having us be the arm, like an extension of your marketing department in the back end, that just makes it even better, since you guys have plenty to do already.
I have a
Oh,
question, and thank you for the
please.
presentation. It was really helpful.
Thank you.
I'm just wondering, are you going to be managing your client list so that these newsletters aren't featuring multiple competing companies, or how does that going to work?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. If, like, let's, for example, say, pool companies, roofing companies, those are definitely some that we have multiple of. But we can do multiple Wednesdays. Yes, we can put them on different Wednesdays, but all of the topics are always going to be unique and different. So it's really going to be focused on the education to the board member and the CAM, not on the actual industry at large, if that makes sense. So we will come up with concepts of the education that are relevant, so that whether it's two roofing companies, the board member wants to know about that topic and the board member wants to know about that topic. But also keep in mind, most associations best practices are always to get 3 bids, and so being one of those bids is your, that's your almost finish line. And I always like to say, for competition purposes, if someone's in the room that you feel is a competitor, you want to be in the same room too.
Yeah, and I think that that is an important point. You're not just calling one pool company or one landscape company if you're looking to get your proposal for the full year, or if you're looking to do a big renovation job, or whatever job that you're looking to do as a CAM. Any large job, really anything over $10,000 for sure, but even some that are less, you're going to get multiple proposals for. So if you're part of the webinar Wednesday and you're a vendor that we feature, you're going to be someone that they reach out to. And then as any other time, it's up to you, to go sell yourself on that contract, but getting yourself the opportunity to be able to be in competition for it is the key.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for the question. Anyone else? Okay, guys. Well, you guys have my email. I'd love to set up times one-on-one with you. We'd love to get you scheduled, show you the value of what we do. And we really appreciate your time this morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good day.